morning, people. Welcome to Locked In on Lockdown, episode 4, now 5.
Hi, already. Can you imagine?
Crazy. We're moving. My name's Alex Elaine.
I'm Jack Gerards.
And as always, we're bringing you that daily source of motivation, inspiration, and actionable tips to help you get your mind right and your day started the right way.
Of
Jack,
course.
I'm excited. Today's topic, fill them in.
Money management. And I think this is quite topical, especially with everything that's going on at the moment. And probably people are kind of hopefully thinking about ways that they could be better. I think you can always be better in handling your money. So shall we dive straight in?
Let's do it. It's a fascinating topic, as you say, very topical right now. I think this is an opportunity. I'd love to share some of my own personal perspective, maybe to help kick us off. So what is money to me? I see it as a tool and as an enabler to be able to really action anything you want in life. So to me, often, I use it as a tool to try and enable freedom or to try and give me an opportunity to do good and serve others. But of course, to make investments to try and grow my baseline of revenue. So one of my, something that I was taught early in life, and this was by one of my early managers, was to always be on the offense when it comes to generating money. And I know it's quite controversial because a lot of the time we're all taught this mentality of save, get it, put it away, get it, put it away. And I'll talk to maybe a bit later some examples of how I do that. But I think now is such an important time not to just sit in a shell mentality and a reserve mentality, but to use this time to think about how can I grow my income? How can I add more streams, or how can I double, what I've been earning today doing what I'm doing, so that, if I was in another challenging position, I've got a much better baseline of income. What do you think on that one, Jack?
I agree with you. I do agree with you. I think in this particular circumstance, I mean, the two main things that I wanted to speak on is, one, I do think it's really important that consistently people are saving. And I know that it is not the easiest thing to do. But in this book by George S. Clason, he talks, The Richest Man in Babylon, he talks about at least trying to save 10% of your income, so that you have something in case something like this happens that you can fall back on. But also what you were talking about in terms of having multiple streams of income, I think that's really, really important. And especially in this period of time, as we were saying yesterday, knowing that you're not having to make that commute in the morning, which may take you an hour, and then that commute on the way back as well, which may take you an hour. Use those extra 2 hours, or push it to 3 or 4 hours every single day at the moment, and use that time to be working on something that will generate you with an additional income stream. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Alex, was obviously you work in sales. Your performance, based upon your performance, you are able to earn more money. What advice would you give to people who don't necessarily work in industries where they're able to achieve that, where they have more of a fixed rate income?
Yeah, no, I love the question, and it's very fair. The principles that I have is, as I say, you need to first of all set a baseline. So I actually have 5 accounts within my kind of one master account. And at the start of every single month, before I touch anything, there's standing orders that go out to each of the 5. So to give you some examples of those accounts, I have one that's just for car maintenance. I have one that's for a holiday, my holiday savings account. I have one that's an emergency account. And as you can probably start to see, there's some that are tactical and kind of very specifically for things that I know if this goes wrong, there's money there. And then I have things like mortgage saving accounts or long-term strategic accounts. But what I also have is what I call my unapologetic kitty, so to speak. And that's a really interesting one because that account is for absolutely anything. And the reason I call it the unapologetic is because whatever I spend from that account, I don't think about if you've got a partner or you've got someone else that you're accountable to for your income, that is your pot. So whatever you want to spend that on, whether it's luxury or taking a high risk investment, that is my pot for those things. So what it means is I come into a month, those 4 other accounts that I mentioned, money's come straight out. So my baseline is set. I know that I'm safe and I'm secure. Mortgages are paid. Everything that needs to be paid is paid. And I've also covered those other 5 areas. But I've also got that high risk part, or that luxury part, whatever you want to call it.
Where you can enjoy yourself, which I think is important.
Exactly.
One thing that I did want to ask you, following on for this though, is how much time and how much energy have you put into handling your money and educating yourself on the best ways to handle your money? Because I think for a lot of people, perhaps financial literacy isn't something that they actually have invested much time into. And I think this is kind of a good opportunity to kind of try and keep people up, at least to go away and spend a little bit of time at least studying around the subject area. Would you say that there's something that you spent a fair amount of time educating yourself on?
Yeah, critical. I had a really hard relationship with money, mainly because, as some of you know, I had let's say a challenging start in life where I was used to not having it. So once I started getting it, I didn't know what to do. And I really found it really, really difficult to know where I should be investing, how I should be spending. And I struggled. It was a mental challenge, but I couldn't talk to anyone, because you try and talk to someone about, well, I'm earning a decent amount of money. What do I do? They kind of look at you crazy. So I had to get help, and I had to speak to professionals to get my mind right and to help guide my decision making. And now I'm much more informed. This didn't just come from me. And I'm a big believer in, if someone's got specialist knowledge somewhere, seek it out. I'm not a specialist in finance and money management. There's many people out there that are. Speak to them, seek out the knowledge and the understanding. What about yourself, Jack? Tell us, a bit about your story of money, what it is to you, what it means to you, your principles of managing it today.
I think for me, it's very similar to you. Like, I have always notoriously had in ways I've had a bad relationship with money, but also I think my parents worked very hard to instill me with the values as best as they possibly could to try and be good with money. So, literally for as long as I can remember, any time that I would get any money for birthdays or Christmas, or I'd earn any money myself, my parents would force me to save some money and put that into the bank account. And I think that has really helped to prepare me in many ways for the challenges of life. But I think one of the things that is quite different between us is, as you were saying, you play very strong offense, whereas me, I'm someone who just gets playing very strong defense. And that definitely, and part of the reason why I have bought these books, and these are 3 books that I would definitely recommend reading, which is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Millionaire Next Door, and The Richest Man in Babylon. These are my 3 favorite books. But part of my story, I guess, has been ensuring that I'm constantly educating myself on how to make better investments, how to go about trying to increase multiple revenue streams, and try and secure basically the future for the generations that are to come ahead. And sometimes that can be a case of utilizing the money that you already have and that already exists, but also trying to plan as strategically as possible to put yourself in the best position. So as you're saying, you're able to make moves which facilitate you to achieve financial security, or hopefully financial freedom.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear that. I think my takeaway from this session is to play offense and defense, right? It's not about being all in, just high risk and doing everything balls to the wall, but equally making sure that you pay attention to defense, saving, conserving, and finding a way to balance both. We're not here saying one over the other, but a little bit of both. Your key takeaway, Jack?
My key takeaway, I would say exactly the same. Playing strong offense is great, playing strong defense is great, but like it's a bit risky. The best thing you should be doing is playing a little bit of both. Go away if you don't do this already, and just make sure that you're educating yourself as much as you possibly can.
Comment below. Let us know how you think about money management. On that note, we're signing out. Stay locked in.
See you next time in a bit.